could you go on your computer and tell me if you can hear me? Oh, I'm live. Can you go on your computer and help me do a sound check real quick? Because there's no one on for me to check against. Okay. Hang on, I'm waiting for my first visitor who's totally not my husband to log on and start watching. This beginning part is just going to be a test because, yeah, anyway. Also, if anyone pops into this, like, late, I'm probably just going to be really awkward throughout this whole thing because this is basically essentially the first live that I've ever done, so please forgive me. I'm awkward anyway on a daily basis. I don't know why this is any different.
You want to chill the heck out?
Yeah.
It doesn't say you're live. Oh, there it is.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Hang on, I changed the headphones. Let me put my headphones away.
Okay. I just want to make sure that the right mic is picking up.
Say something.
Hello? Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, it's working.
Okay, cool. Is it good? Is it crackling or anything?
No, I think it's good.
Okay, sweet. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Live with Ava. Shh. I'm super excited. Today I'm going to be reading Am I the Asshole? And we are going to decide together if these people are assholes or not. So grab yourself a drink, some coffee, some tea, some wine, and maybe some booze, and let's get started. Okay. There we go. Oh, geez. Okay. Am I the asshole for not wanting to go to my 26 female sisters? Oh, hold on. These read so weird. Am I the asshole for not wanting to go to my 26 female sisters, 29 female wedding because of my insomnia? Depends on how bad your insomnia is, honestly. My sister, let's call her Hannah, isn't speaking to me right now because I RSVP'd no to her wedding in January. My mom wants me to change my RSVP, but honestly, the wedding isn't going to be possible for me to attend, and based on how my sister is acting, I don't want to go anymore. Ever since I hit puberty, I'm trying not to judge in the beginning, but I just feel like when most people say they have insomnia, it's like, do you have like diagnosed insomnia, or are you just being lazy?
I drink too much caffeine late at night, so I can't sleep.
Yeah, like, it's fine. If you don't want to go to your sister's wedding, that's kind of fine, actually. I mean, maybe your sister sucks. Ever since I hit puberty, I've had really, 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 really bad insomnia. I usually go to bed around 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and wake up around 1 p.m. Oh, geez. 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Oh, my gosh. I've never tried to change my sleep style, and I just can't. Okay. I don't think you... I'm trying so hard not to judge right now. I'm trying to be diplomatic. It's like dealing with international jet lag. It's not, though, because you're still keeping a consistent schedule. You just won't go to bed before 6 or 7. I don't think it's that you're lying in bed from 10 p.m. and just not going to sleep. You're just not going to bed. But you are keeping a consistent schedule of 6 or 7 to 1 or 2. So that doesn't tell me they don't have insomnia. And you also just said you refuse to try to change it. So I'm not having much sympathy for this poster right off the bat. Hannah knows this, but always forgets and tries to wake me up for family things whenever she visits home, and I have to lock my bedroom door and really work to keep her out. Oh my gosh. Okay. I've been somebody who works overnights before, so it is... If you have a legitimate excuse to be sleeping during the day, because like I would get off at 7 a.m. and I worked at a hotel and I would work overnight, get off at 7 a.m., come home and go to bed at 7 a.m. and wake up in the afternoon, obviously. And it's really annoying whenever people try to wake you up because you're not awake during normal hours when it's like, I work overnight. But you don't. You're just staying. How do you even keep a job? Like, does she work overnights? She'll probably mention it if I just finish reading it. Okay. When I got the invitation for Hannah's wedding, I was super excited for her because she has always wanted a big wedding, and it looks like she is going to get it. And that might not be what I want/would want, but she does, and that is exciting. And I can acknowledge that. But then I saw the timeline, and there's a wedding brunch at 10 a.m. The ceremony is at noon, and then there's an afternoon party. I asked Hannah if I could just come to the afternoon party since I will be sleeping at 10 a.m. Dude, okay, I'm sorry. No. Can you just, like, it's one time, one day. You can't just wake up. I mean, again, your excuse for not sleeping is not that you have any obligations. It's that you just admitted you refuse to try to change your very regular sleeping schedule. I don't think you have insomnia. Anyway, wine is not booze, Christian. Booze is liquor.
What do you consider booze then?
Liquor?
Oh, I consider just alcohol booze.
Oh, really? I don't know. Maybe I'm the dumb one. Okay. She got furious and started yelling over the phone about how since I'm her sister, I need to be there for the ceremony. Not true. But also, if you care about your sister, I mean, come on. You don't have insomnia. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Insomnia is not keeping a consistent schedule and just going to bed at 7 a.m. That's not what insomnia is. I laughed and told her there was no way I could be there on time because it would basically be like trying to get someone on a 9-to-5 work schedule to attend an event at 2 a.m. Except it's not, because you're not on a work schedule. You just are weird. I probably shouldn't have laughed. See, okay, this is the thing. It's like I used to keep a really weird schedule, and like I would stay up till like 7 a.m. and then sleep till late in the afternoon. But if there was something going on, I would make arrangements for that. And like if this was an actual legitimate medical thing, you have insomnia. But this is kind of like when people say they have depression. It's like, no, you're just sad. You don't have depression. You don't have insomnia. You just don't go to bed till 7 a.m., which is like, that's fine. But also, yeah, you're kind of an asshole for skipping your sister's wedding because you keep this really freaking weird sleep schedule. Blah, blah, blah. Is it 2 a.m.? 9-to-5 work schedule to attend an event at 2 a.m. I probably shouldn't have laughed, but it just felt so ridiculous. If she wanted me to be there for the whole thing, she needed to plan for a time when I could actually attend. That's kind of outrageous, honestly. I work a full-time job as a freelancer, just not normal hours because of my insomnia. Ma'am, you don't have insomnia, okay? So it really bugs me when people act like my time is worth less than theirs. Would totally agree, except you keep lying and saying you have insomnia. But now wedding preparations are happening at the house. The brunch is going to be here. And my mom is really upset with me for not coming to the wedding. She wants me to apologize to Hannah and be one of her bridesmaids. Hannah isn't speaking to me at all, but she is speaking to our mom. Duh. So maybe that is what she also wants. Duh. But I just feel like she owes me the apology, not the other way around. But I might be wrong because this is the first big fancy wedding in our family. And maybe I need to suck it up because it's a tradition to have a morning breakfast or something. Okay, it's not a tradition to have a morning breakfast. That's actually weird. I wouldn't do that for a wedding. But also, I mean, yeah, I kind of think this person's a bit of an asshole. If anyone is in the comments, feel free to chime in. They edit it. Okay, that was universal. IATA. I will apologize to Hannah. Okay, so I guess Reddit decided she was an asshole. I will apologize to Hannah and ask if I can still attend the wedding. I think it is probably best if I'm not a bridesmaid, but I can still put on a dress and show up even if I am tired. Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, if a family member who was important to me had a wedding at 2 a.m., I'd show up. Like, I either wouldn't go to sleep or I just go to sleep really early and then wake up or something. It's literally one day. And again, because your only excuse is that you have insomnia, but you don't have insomnia. So, yeah. But I mean, at least they're kind of admitting they're wrong. I have put on a dress. Thank you to everyone that sent me medical tips. Okay. I am realizing that I need to get a second opinion that isn't our family doctor because she is actually kind of dismissive about my sleep issues. And I used to like that because she made my mom calm down and she supported me with a doctor's note for online. This is actually completely unimportant. I'm not going to finish reading that. Okay. Top comment. You're the asshole for expecting events to be planned around you, for laughing, and for not caring enough about her wedding to consider talking to a doctor for help. If this happened in puberty, how did you attend high school? That's a good question. But also, I'm so freaking sorry. You don't have insomnia. Your sleep schedule is regular. Like, isn't somebody going to acknowledge that? Next comment. Blah, blah, blah. There should be a faster scroll option. Oh my gosh, people had a lot to say about that first comment. Okay. You're the asshole. I have a delayed circadian rhythm, and it can suck. But I don't expect people to plan their weddings in the afternoon so I don't have to wake up early for one day. People with diurnal schedules will adjust those sleep schedules for specific events. We nocturnal folks can too. I completely agree. Like, you literally are just nocturnal fully by your own choice. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it again. This person doesn't have insomnia. They just don't have insomnia. And it's perfectly fine to be nocturnal. I have no problem with that. I've done it before. But you don't get to demand people plan their events around you. So, the asshole, in my opinion. Okay. Ugh. This is going to be awkward. Am I the asshole for making a scene when my son refused to dance with me? Well, it depends. Do you have cooties? This all started when my son Ben graduated high school. Oh my God. Okay. There was a formal dance. I was very excited for the mother-son dance. Every time I brought it up, Ben would say he wasn't going to dance. Okay, cool. He doesn't consent. Leave him alone. Moving on. I didn't take him seriously because you're an asshole, so glad we got that out of the way super quick. I thought he was just being shy. Maybe he was, but that doesn't change the fact that he did not consent to dance with you. When we got to the formal, everything was beautiful. But when it came time for the formal dances, he was nowhere to be seen because he already told you no. Learn how to take no for an answer. You're kind of being creepy right now, for real. Blah, blah, blah. I approached my older daughter, Alice, and my husband, who I could see were talking and laughing. I asked if they'd seen, I bet you were really mad about that because they weren't taking it super seriously that your son didn't want to dance with you. They were laughing. They were laughing and talking when your son wasn't dancing with you. Ugh. I asked if they'd seen Ben, and they laughed and said he was going to go hide so he didn't have to dance. I was absolutely heartbroken. I mean, he told you no. If he had said he was going to and then backed out, maybe, but like you were told no in the first place. You have to back off. My son was literally hiding from me. I'd hide from you too. I stood in the corner during the mother-son dance, sulking like a 2-year-old, watching all his friends dance with their moms. I couldn't take it. So I told my husband and daughter that I was walking home. That's very dramatic. I understand why this kid did not want to dance with you. I wonder how far away her home was. Was she wearing heels? I need a more in-depth description of what's going on here. What did you go through? When they got home, Ben walked right past me and went to his room to get ready for the after party. Okay. My daughter hugged me and went to get ready because she was driving Ben to the party. It's a completely unnecessary detail. After our children left, my husband and I had an argument about what happened. He said he was appalled at my behavior. And that I was acting like a child. Yes. I said that the least Ben could have done was dance with his mother. No, that's actually the most he could have done. The least you could have done was respect somebody's wishes not to dance. He said that today was supposed to be about him. Yes. And his accomplishment. Correct. Not me. But in my opinion, today should have also been about celebrating the people who helped him get to where he is now. I'm so sorry. You are not the reason that your son graduated high school. Like, let something be about him. I don't care if you drove him to school. That's like your literal responsibility. Just no. Like, I don't care what you think you did to help. The day is supposed to be about him. And also, I don't care if the day was supposed to be about you, because somebody said no to your physical advances, which is like weird describing this because it's your literal child. But somebody said no. That's the end of it. No is a complete sentence. Over. Game over for you. Things got quite heated. Probably because you started yelling. I'm being so judgmental of this person like I was there. And before going inside, my husband said that he wasn't going to force his son to do something he didn't want to do on his day. Good, except you shouldn't force your son to do something he doesn't want to do on any day unless that is like chores or something that's a necessity. I was taken aback by this, so I just stayed on the porch trying not to cry. I thought my husband would support me. Woman. Oh my God. Later, my daughter returns home and sees me crying. Okay, this is it's going on way too long. She gives me a hug and gave me a chocolate bar to try and cheer me up. Oh my God. If no one else, my daughter would be on my side. She danced with me at her graduation. She danced with her father. So she understood how important this day was for me. I asked if she was on my side. She said something along the lines of, I know you're upset, but I don't know what you expect from him. It took a few days before we really spoke to each other again. Okay, you need, like, dead ass need counseling. That is ridiculous. That your son, in advance, told you that he is not comfortable dancing and did not want to dance, and it was so important to you that you are giving your entire family the silent treatment for several days, crying and having people bring you chocolate. Like, that needs to be reeled in, like, right now. That's crazy. You can't, oh my gosh. Like, I understand there might be, like, some mental illness at play here, but, like, girl, we're all out here with mental illness, and you don't get to punish other people because of that. Coming back to the present, my daughter recently got engaged. Oh boy. We were talking about it on a family FaceTime, and the topic of when Ben will get married came up. He said he was never going to get married because he doesn't want to deal with another round of dance drama. It's so important to your son. Your son so much does not want to dance with you that he is willing to be celibate for the rest of his life, or at least single for the rest of his life. And this is still about you in your mind? All right. Okay, lady. Okay, see a therapist. When I asked him to clarify, that's pretty freaking clear. He's not going to get married because you're pressuring him to dance with you. He said that he was obviously referring to his graduation. Duh. What else? How many times a day do you ask this kid to dance with you? I was appalled at this attack. Oh my God. When people don't give in to my advances, that's an attack. And I take that personally. He won't get married because of me? I won't lie. I am upset. Yeah, we got that. And he still does not want to dance with me, even at his own wedding. Now my husband, this is pissing me off so bad. I'm so sorry. Now my husband is mad at me. My son refuses to answer my calls or texts. Am I the asshole for making a scene and starting an argument because my son never wants to dance with me? Yes, of course. What? Yes. Oh my God. Oh, okay, top comment is going to say it all right now. Your self-involvement is absolutely breathtaking, even by the gutter standards of this sub. You're the asshole. You're not going to believe this, but his actual high school graduation and his hypothetical wedding, they are not about you. Buckle up for when he doesn't want to see or speak with you at all anymore, and know that it is entirely on you, that it is entirely of your own making. Correct. Christian says, I, as an adult, am in an argument with a child. Is he in the wrong? Yeah, and this mother sounds exhausting. Yeah, she absolutely. I'm exhausted just reading what she just wrote. Like, there's no discussion. If somebody tells you they don't want to do an activity, especially one that involves physically touching you, that's the end. Like, they said they don't want to, that's the end. If you do literally anything past that besides say, okay, I respect your wishes, you are the asshole. And then she just compounds on it by the whole entire scene she made and basically ruining her son's, what did she say? It was his graduated high school. Yeah, you ruined your son's graduation dance. Also, maybe he wanted to dance with a girl and you're like super outlandish and embarrassing. So that's probably why he didn't want to dance with you. Okay? Like, also, back off. What if this mother was at a dance and some guy walked up to her and wanted to dance with her? Would she be obligated to dance with him? No, because that's outrageous. And it's the same whenever you ask your son to dance with you. Okay, anyway, let's move on to the next one. Uh-oh. Am I the asshole for going on a trip with my family that my wife isn't going on? Depends on the reason she's not going. Oh, geez. Recently, my parents surprised me, 26 male, and my siblings, 16 and 19, with a ski trip this December, the day after Christmas. My parents offered to pay for my expenses and said that my wife, 24, was welcome to come, but she would need to pay her way. Oh, my God. My wife and I are okay financially, but with the trip being so close to Christmas, we wouldn't be able to afford to pay for her to go. Despite this, I really wanted to go on the trip, as it was always a dream of mine to go on a trip like this. My family grew up dirt poor until I was about 15 when my parents' business took off, and now they are extremely comfortable and can afford to pay for trips like this for us. Honestly, why aren't they paying for your wife? Like, it sounds like money is not an issue, and I'm sorry, but your wife is literally married to you. She's now basically one of their children. So, yeah, you're probably going to turn out to be the asshole. But let's read on. Oh, good. One thing to point out in the comments, actually, Christian just said, pertaining to the last story, consent to physical touch includes family members. Yes, absolutely. For those of you out here, you have to kiss your aunt at Christmas and you have to hug all your relatives. No. Get out of my face with that. Your kid does not have to have physical contact with a single person. Anyway. Oh, geez. Okay, now found my place. Now they're extremely comfortable and can afford to pay for trips like this for us. They could certainly afford to pay for my wife to also go. Okay, but they have always been this way when it comes to paying for things for me versus my wife. Yeah, not okay. No. Like, if this was like maybe your girlfriend and even like a girlfriend that lived with you, maybe. But this is your wife. Like, your parents are... I'm not comfortable with that. My parents think it's only fair to pay for me when we go out to eat or go on trips because they are still paying for my siblings. I don't ask them to, but it is nice to save money, so on every trip they will pay my way, room and board, excursions, meals, while my wife was expected to pay her way. It's just creating completely unnecessary separation in the family for no reason. This started before we were married, and it was probably acceptable then. This has always bothered my wife because she's being blatantly told she's not part of the family. Like, come on. This has always bothered my wife, especially after we got married, and they still excluded her. So in the past 2 years since we got married... Wait, what? Hold on. He typed that really weird. This has always bothered my wife, especially after we got married, and they still excluded her. So in the past 2 years since we got married, I tried to limit the trips since they bother her so much. Okay, so you're doing this past 2 years since we got married, trips. So you've gone on at least one trip a year paid for by your parents, either without your wife or making your wife pay her own way. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's kind of ridiculous. If somebody else can chime in, like, because I realize that I am like a woman and someone's wife, so maybe I'm biased, but this seems very discriminatory. But this is a once in a lifetime trip for me. No, it's not. If you could see paying for your wife any other time than Christmas, why couldn't you see paying for yourself to go on that trip? So I thought she would be supportive of me going. But she's very upset and hurt. Yeah, she wants to go on the trip, but like I said, we just can't afford it, but she understands. Yeah, okay, so if you can't afford for your partner to go on a trip, why would you go on that trip and leave her at home? Like, oh, it's a once in a lifetime trip for you? Wow, that's super great. Screw your wife, I guess. She told me she doesn't want me to have this experience, but she is sad because she thinks my parents purposefully exclude her, because they do. You actually literally said that. Am I the asshole for choosing to go on the trip and leave her behind? I still have time to cancel on my parents, but I know they would be sad. Oh, your parents would be sad if you didn't exclude your wife like they are? Well, I guess you should do what your parents want. You should probably start looking for a divorce lawyer too. Okay. Top comment. Top comment quotes OP saying, they could certainly afford to pay for my wife to also go, but they have always been this way when it comes to paying for things for me versus my wife. So you are well aware that your parents are intentionally excluding your wife, and apparently this is definitely not the first time, and you don't understand why she's so hurt and upset about this, especially when it's during Christmas. Think about it, dude. Think real hard. You're the asshole. Yes. Thank you so much. There's no skip down to the next comment on like there is on mobile. Okay. Got it. Okay. Next comment. You really think your parents don't know what they are doing here? Yeah, exactly. Save up and do a similar trip with your wife as a couple. If it's that important to you, you're the asshole. And so are your parents. Like, like, again, maybe if she was just your girlfriend, but like, you're married, she's part of the family. When you marry into a family, that's your parents-in-law. Like, my in-laws treat me like I'm one of their kids. My parents treat my husband like he's one of their kids. It's completely embarrassing that your parents only pay your way and expect you to go on a trip. Like, oh, I guess if your wife can't afford it, she can't go. Like, that's his life, dude. Ugh. Anyway, you're the asshole. Either she's family to your parents or she isn't, and she clearly isn't. Thank you. And you're a serious asshole to your wife by letting your family consciously exclude her. Yes. Thank you so much. They should either be paying for both of you, or you and your wife should be covering for the two of you. Yes, absolutely. Especially, like, I can even see that because this guy's 26 and his siblings are 16 and 19. So one of them's barely an adult and the other is still a teenager. So I could even see them being like, hey, we want to go on this trip. Like, you and your wife are well-established adults now. You guys should pay your way, even though I think that's kind of shitty too. But like, paying for him and not the wife when they also know that the wife can't afford to go is like, that sounds kind of sinister to me, because it kind of sounds like they're like, oh, well, I think they're kind of trying to swing a family vacation without the wife, and that's really gross. Trying to find a good one. Am I the asshole for asking my husband not to invite friends of his? Got it. Okay. Am I the asshole for asking my husband not to invite friends of friends of his that I didn't know to my 30th birthday party. Uh-oh. So for my 30th, I wanted a party. Same. Nothing huge and family friendly since I have kids. I made a list, and before I knew it, I had 60 people on it. Okay, let's calm down a little bit, which is like a lot. Yeah, we know, considering our small home. So it was going to be somewhat of an outdoor party. Husband thought I was making a big deal out of my party since I undertook all the planning and was excited about it. He didn't offer to help, but wasn't against it. Okay. There's not enough information there to tell if that's problematic, because like, did you ask him for help, or were you just excited to plan it by yourself? He wanted to invite people he knew that I didn't. That felt weird to me, so I said I would rather he didn't. Sounds kind of reasonable. Already, I had invited so many people, and that would mean a lot of cupcakes I would have to make. Not how many extra people do you want to invite? Because like, if you're already making 60 cupcakes, like what's 62? Not to mention that I felt like my attention would be limited for interactions with new people. So don't talk to them. I had like fucking maybe 8 people at my birthday party, and I barely got to talk to everybody. He insisted a bit that I would like them, but I finally just said I'd like to get to know them in a different setting, not my 30th birthday party. He sulked a bit. He mentioned it to his parents that I didn't let him invite people, so he definitely had a chip on his shoulder. And today, weeks later, he brings it up again to highlight my controlling nature, telling me he has discussed the matter with people who are qualified in counseling and that those conversations were eye-opening. He didn't say more because he was going off on a tangent, and I told him I didn't want to hear anymore. So am I the asshole? Top comment says not the asshole. I'm not really interested in reading too far into it. It's usually the same consistent, not the asshole. Next one. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're an asshole. I don't think it would necessarily be a problem if some of his friends came, but I also understand it's your birthday party. So, like, I'm kind of meh on the whole thing. I don't think you're an asshole. I do think it's a kind of a silly situation that you're having 60 people at a party and you're worried about being able to interact with these people when it's like, you're obviously not going to interact with 60 people in one night. So I don't know why that would be a problem, but whatever. You're not an asshole. You're maybe just kind of immature. I don't know. Any good ones? Am I the asshole for not congratulating my ex on the birth of his baby? What? No. Heck. I, 22 female, was in a relationship with Kyle, 25 male, for over a year when Ella, 23 female, came into the picture. I see where this is going. I am so very sure that there was no cheating going on. Okay. Kyle wasn't being secretive. He wasn't hiding anything. Oh, so he was just blatantly cheating on you. We've all had exes like that. I get you. And none of our friends seemed to be lying to me. So I was very heartbroken when he broke up with me, and shock horror got with Ella a few weeks later. Girl, he was with Ella immediately. Come, girl. Jeez. Now I'm a socially anxious introvert, so hiding from them and my friends was easy. I threw myself into work and my hobbies and did everything I could to avoid them all due to the fact that Kyle and I share a friend group. Oh my gosh. Been there. Luckily, I had my best friend, Jenna, 21, by my side and 100% on my side. Fast forward a year, Kyle and Ella announced their pregnancy to the world. Seeing the Facebook post made me feel like I was being broken up with all over again. Okay. That's something you need to seek counseling about. Like, that's not good. I mean, the guy was obviously cheating on you, and even if he wasn't, he broke up with you. Like, and over a year later, like, I don't know, dude. I don't like to like rush people on getting over stuff, but you definitely need to talk to somebody about that. The baby was born last month, and whilst our friends have congratulated them and gone to see the baby, Jenna and I haven't. Duh. I understand that the baby is innocent. Okay, but their parents aren't, and why would you ever have contact with their parents again? but I wouldn't be able to be in the same room as Kyle and Ella. That's fine. Ella messaged me a few nights ago telling me that I was a heartless bitch for not being happy for them and that I should have at least congratulated Kyle. Okay, well, Ella can go play in traffic. Jenna saw these messages and sent one of her own to Ella, basically saying that Ella has no right to demand anything from me after she ruined my relationship. Correct? True? Yes. Jenna has reassured me day after day that I didn't need to say anything to either of them, but it's been eating away at me. Am I the asshole? Oh my gosh. Of course not. Top comment. Not the asshole. Ella is nuts. I can't imagine caring what my partner's ex thinks about my new baby. That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, why would you ever reach out to your partner's ex and be like, you didn't congratulate me on my new baby? Like, I would never even speak to my own exes, much less the ex of my freaking partner. Like, what world do you live in? And also, like, why would you want your boyfriend's ex reaching out to him to tell him congratulations? Like, if I had a kid and one of my husband's exes came out and told him congratulations, I'd probably be really pissed. Like, the hell? Next one, not the asshole. Why did she go out of her way to message you about a congratulations that you didn't give? That's very weird. Extremely weird. Yes. Holy crap. Why are you fixated on the ex of your baby daddy? That's weird. You're weird. Not you. The other chick is weird. No, you're not an asshole. It's just weird. It's weird. People are weird, you guys. It's weird. Am I the asshole for telling my mom she's dumb if she thinks I'll babysit for her? My mom and I, 17 female, have never had a good relationship. She was 20 when she had me with a guy she slept with who she didn't like. That's a weird sentence. Which chased away the guy she did like because he didn't want to be with someone who had a kid. So I was born and mom had negative feelings for me. We lived with my grandparents most of my childhood. When I was about 6, mom started to take more of an interest because I think the idea of having a little girl to dress up and do makeovers was fun for her. But I was never into makeup or clothes. I'm not the girl she wanted me to be, and mom lost interest after I refused to go around wearing these sparkly dresses she'd find for me. That's unfortunate. When I was 13, we moved out of my grandparents into a place together. 6 months later, her now husband moved in. 2 years later, she was pregnant and had a baby girl who is now 8 months old, and she's expecting again. Holy crap. What? Okay. Whatever. Anyway, mom has been so happy and has been such a different mother to her baby, and she's even excited to be having a boy now. This mom sucks. A few weeks ago, she wanted me to babysit so she and her husband could have a date night. I told her I was busy. Valid. She told me I could be unbusy and help out the family. Okay, or maybe you could be unbusy and be a good mom. Let's try that. I told her that wasn't going to happen. Good for you. She said to see it as bonding time with my sister. I told her I didn't need any bonding time and was going out, so she better find someone else. She threatened to punish me by what? Making you stay home and babysit? I asked her how. She stared at me for the longest time because she had no idea what would matter enough to me to take away, because she doesn't care enough about you to know what matters to you. She ended up paying a sitter. Then a few days later, she told me again that I would be babysitting. I told her my answer was the same as the previous time and that she could forget me ever babysitting. She was all, why the hell not? She told me I owed her and that I was making her wish she had left me at my grandparents'. Yeah, we kind of all wish that, lady. I told her she should have, and then she wouldn't need to worry about her little family where she has one of each, which she said a couple times after finding out she's having a boy this time. So this lady openly said, I'm going to have one of each when you already have a daughter. I don't expect anything from that kid ever. I told her she was dumb to think I'd help her. True. or want to spend time with her kids when she has made it clear she never wanted to be my mom and that I was never enough for her. Yeah, fair. All good here. She got so mad that I called her dumb. Okay. I'm sorry you get upset when people tell you the truth. And told me I was the biggest regret she had, so she gets dumber. And why the fuck could I not realize I owed her? You don't realize something that's not true. Her husband told me calling her dumb was cruel and that it's offensive to others. I don't know what that was. It's offensive to others to call her dumb. Like, it's offensive to other dumb people. Am I the asshole? Absolutely not. And I will have the same answer that I have for every single story like this. You are not responsible for other people's kids. If you, as a person, decide to have kids, you and you alone are responsible for that kid. I do not have kids because I have chosen not to be responsible for kids. I'm not responsible for my own kids and don't get to reap the rewards of having my own biological kids because I don't want to take on that responsibility. I sure as hell am not taking on the responsibility of your kids. Like, what's the point? Top comment. Oh, hold on. As a fellow unplanned child of a young mother, I feel you, friend. I wanted to feel supported and loved too, to shake the projected feelings of regret. Oh, that sucks. You don't get that by fighting fire with fire. You can't get clean water from a dirty well. You're not the asshole. You are, okay. I don't know. Hold on. I'll finish reading the comment. You are not the asshole. You are just a kid working through complex emotional needs and lacking a parent that can navigate those with you with any sense of emotional maturity. If your parent can't give you the support you need, reevaluate what your support network looks like and identify other figures in your life that can help. It's a terrifying process to branch out like that, but relying on a dysfunctional parent forever isn't going to lead to good places. I don't really know what they're getting at here because, like, it didn't come across like she was relying on her forever. I have my grandparents. They're the only people I actually rely on for support. But mom limited my access to them after we moved out because she had a fight with them and doesn't speak to them anymore. Yeah, mom is a certified asshole. OP is not an asshole. I won't be taking votes on that. Next. Oh, no. Am I the asshole? Tanny. Molly. Anyway, okay. I'm a 39-year-old female. My two older sisters, an adult 20-year-old, and adult 20-year-old niece live together. My oldest sister, 48, hasn't worked since she was a teen because she's disabled with bipolar disorder and gets disability. And my next oldest sister is going to federal court after her disability claim was denied multiple times. My niece, who has social anxiety yet has never seen a therapist, has never worked and spends her days making crafts and watching TV. Oh, okay. Stories like this are so hard for me because I want to advocate for mental illness and be like, yeah, we need better care for mental illness in this country. But also, like, I'm kind of jaded as someone who themselves has mental illness. And I've had to work since I was 17. I've had to pay my own way. So I don't know if I'm being unreasonable. I don't know if I'm like making the fact that I have to work like other people's problem or what. Like, I don't know. It's really hard to explain, but like, I just don't have a lot of sympathy for people who claim mental illness is the reason that they can't work because, like, I've been fighting through it for so long. It's just something I don't really appreciate, but I understand that might be, like, not really exactly coming from the right place. I don't know. People can chime in on that if they want. It's kind of a heavier topic. Whatever. My father supported my sisters and niece to the tune of about $100K over the last 15 or so years, while none of them have brought in anything aside from my oldest sister's disability check. My father has cut them off, and I've tried for the last year to help them find affordable places to live based on my oldest sister's disability income amount. They have an excuse every time about why they can't move here or there and complain constantly about how nobody helps them. They are facing homelessness. Okay. I mean, yeah, of course they are when they keep making up excuses for why they can't use their money to pay for a living. They borrow things from my father who still helps them despite cutting them off. Okay, so he didn't cut them off. And they trash talk him. When I ask why my niece can't get a job, they oscillate between saying she just can't and that she has social anxiety, so she can't. No, I'm sorry. No. Like most millennials are out here having social anxiety and we still have to work. I'm sorry. Like, this is one of those times where I'm going to say you literally just have to suck it up. Like, I'm so sorry. You can't just not have a job and support yourself. I mentioned I sponsor some children's charities and got a guilt trip about how I help families I don't even know but not my own. I've offered to help with garage sales as they have a house filled with stuff, but they won't because nobody will buy anything. Well, of course they won't buy anything. You're not trying to sell it. They won't move from our area to a more affordable area because their doctors are here. They keep telling me how horrible things are and that nobody helps them. I know they want money from me and think I'm a jerk because I haven't offered to let them move in with me and my husband, but I'm afraid they will never leave. They won't. And I'll eventually have to evict them to get them to leave. I'm also scared to give them money because when they've had money, they blow it on expensive takeout and buying jewelry to eventually supposedly resell. And I know if I give them money once, it'll be an endless requesting of money for as long as this madness continues. Okay, so you're obviously not the asshole. Like, duh. Top comment, not the asshole. Do not let them move in. They will never leave. You don't have to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Well, exactly. And like, especially when those people are just kind of sabotaging themselves. Like, they just want to sit around and make excuses. I understand they have mental illness, but they obviously are having the privilege of being able to see a doctor about that. Most people don't have that, and they're still going to work every single day. So I'm not saying pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but like this, I can't because of mental illness mentality. I'm not backing that at all. Like, no. Next comment, not the asshole. Your instincts are right. Red flags everywhere. Don't let them move in or they will never leave and probably will make a mess. Yes, correct. Hang on 1 second. Okay. Yeah, no, not the asshole. Next story. We can do like one or two more. Oh, geez. Am I the asshole for not wanting to buy mother-in-law a new bed for our guest bedroom? My mother-in-law stays with us far more frequently than I would like. She recently requested that we purchase a new bed for our guest bedroom. Are you freaking... I'm sorry. You're staying at my house? Like, literally beggars can't be choosers. Get out of my face with that. Because the current bed we have, a newer pillow top king size mattress, is too soft for her liking? When we... What? I cannot imagine being in somebody's house and asking them to buy me a new bed because it's too soft. Like, the audacity. That's just hilarious to me. When we pushed back a little, she said she would be willing to pay for one, but she doesn't have any money. So I worry that if she was to buy one, it would be the cheapest mattress possible. I tell her to buy it and put it in her own house, and that's where she can sleep. Other guests that have stayed with us have commented on how comfortable the bed is. And when I slept in that room, if kids join us in bed in the middle of the night or husband is snoring, I think it's wonderful. My husband frequently feels in the middle between his mom's numerous requests and my lack of supporting those said requests. No, what? That is a completely unreasonable request. That's outlandish. I don't want to put him in a bad spot, but I just can't wrap my head around getting a brand new king mattress for this reason. Why do people ask half the questions that are on here? Of course. That's completely unreasonable for her to ask you to replace the mat. Like, hi, I'm coming to stay with you. Also, your furniture is not adequate. Can you please go ahead and replace that? Like, bro, this isn't the friggin' Ritz-Carlton, okay? You're not paying to be here. Get out of my house. Not the asshole. What's there for your husband to be in the middle about? Yeah, exactly. You live there. She doesn't. Her opinion should have no bearing on the furniture you keep in your own home. Yeah. Okay. I'm not crazy. Not the asshole. Sounds like she's trying to move in. Yes. Absolutely. She's got her foot in the door. Do not buy her a bed. Exactly. I'm not the asshole here. Not the asshole. Your mother-in-law has a lot of nerve. If she doesn't like her mattress, maybe the couch is a better place for her. Yeah, you can tell Thumbelina that she can stay in a hotel from now on when she comes to visit, or like, better yet, don't come visit, because I wouldn't want to visit from somebody who thinks that they can demand for me to buy a freaking mattress because mine is too soft. Look at all the complaints you could have about a mattress. Are you for real? Next. Okay. God, most of these are so lame. Like, okay. Oh, this might be a good one. Am I the asshole for not wanting to share the money of our dog sitting with my husband? I don't understand questions like this because I'm of the opinion, like, we're married, my money is your money, and vice versa. Like, we don't ever argue over whose money is whose. It's always weird to me when people are like talking about my money and my husband's money. Like, I don't relate. Trying to keep this short, husband coaches soccer 4 hours a day, all weekdays and Saturday outside of his day job. Oh, he keeps all the money he makes for himself. What is this relationship? I recently started doing dog sitting to bring in extra income for myself outside of my day job as well. And when I told him I plan on keeping all the money, he said that's not fair since the dog is in his house also and infringing on his day-to-day. I told him that his coaching is infringing on my day-to-day as it leaves me as the sole caretaker of our two kids, 2 and 10 weeks. And I argue that we both give up some convenience so that the other can have a small side income. This doesn't even compute with me. Like, you have kids together, you're a whole family, and you're counting income like this? Like, oh, that's yours and this is mine. Like, I don't compute. He does not agree and wants to keep his coaching money and split my dog sitting money. Am I wrong for denying this? The money he makes coaching and I make sitting is almost exactly the same. That's kind of crazy. But also, like, why are we doing this, dude? Like, not the asshole, but please take care of yourself. It is incredibly concerning that in his eyes, he can have separate finances, but you can't. Absolutely. Definitely a super huge red flag. But just on top of that, like, I don't understand married people or even people who like live together long term, like in a relationship, not roommates, like in a relationship. I don't understand the whole separate finances. Like if I have money and my husband needs something, it's not even a question. Like I don't get this. It seems super selfish to me and weird, but whatever, have whatever you want. But no, if you're going to decide to keep things separate, then we're keeping things separate. But like you have 2 kids together and you're having argument, not even just like arguments over money. You're having arguments over whose money is whose. That's kind of weird. Kind of weird. You're a little bit weird. You're kind of strange. You're not an asshole, but pretty strange. This is going to be good. Am I the asshole for not inviting my nephew to my son's birthday party because he uses curse words? Her son's going to turn out to be like 23. My son's 5th birthday party is coming up. Okay, that's probably reasonable. I invited almost every child in my family that was around his age, except for my nephew. My brother and his wife openly allow their son to use curse words. Okay, here's the thing. I don't care if in your own household you have rules that your kids are allowed to cuss. In my opinion, they're words. I'd probably do the same with my kids. But you have to understand that there is a social etiquette and expectation. And when you go outside of your home, you have to educate your kid that they cannot be using those certain words outside of the house. There is a responsibility that comes with cursing. And if your kid is not old enough to handle that, they're not old enough to use curse words. Like, again, if you want to let your kid curse in your house, totally fine. Again, I'd probably do the same thing. But you can't just bring that over to other people's houses. And like the kid is 5 years old. It's like you can't. I'm sorry. Like I'm not one for censoring, but there's a time and a place and things are appropriate and not appropriate. And this is a time when it's not appropriate. My brother and his wife openly allow their son to use curse words because they don't want to censor his vocabulary. That's retarded. That's completely idiotic. No. Like, you can control what your kid says. Again, I wouldn't do it, but don't want to censor his vocabulary. He's freaking 5, okay? How they raise him is none of my business, but I don't want my son to be potentially influenced by theirs. I know other members of the family feel the same way, and I also invited friends who I know wouldn't want their child to be around another child who uses profanity. I mean, yeah, they're 5-year-olds. Like, it's not unreasonable. So for that reason, I didn't invite him. My brother's wife confronted me about it. She says I'm being a bully by specifically excluding her son, and he deserves to come because I invited the whole family. I even tried to make a compromise. I told her that he could come if she promised he wouldn't use any curse words at the party. I cannot believe the sister-in-law is about to disagree with that. She said it was ridiculous for me to expect her to censor his vocabulary. It's not censoring your vocabulary, dude. It's censoring your mouth around other people, which is polite. But I feel like I have the right to decide who I do and who I don't want my child to be around. But I also feel like I might be in the wrong because I am specifically excluding my nephew. No, you are not excluding your nephew. You said he can come if he doesn't curse at a 5-year-old's birthday party, which I think is completely reasonable. And your sister-in-law thinks that's ridiculous. So, no, you're not the asshole. Top comment. Quoting OP. She said it was ridiculous for me to expect her to censor his vocabulary. Good God, what a terrible parent. That's exactly what I was thinking. She can refuse to parent her child, but then she has no reason to be surprised when others don't wish to be around him or them. Not the asshole, blah, blah, blah. They can screw up their own kid. Okay, I do not agree that letting your kids cuss in your own household and teaching them, like, when it is appropriate to use words, I do not think that's being a bad parent, frankly. Like, I just don't. I disagree. I understand other people may not agree with that. But, I mean, if your kid is, if you can't stop him from cussing at another 5-year-old's birthday party, like, that's a whole different issue. Okay, I think we have time for one last one. We're almost at an hour. Oh, am I the asshole for getting mad when my family shows up unannounced? Absolutely not. I, 25 female, live with my boyfriend of 8 years, 25 male. Oh, dang. High school sweethearts. We own a house. Well, it's in my name, but he helps with the bills and stuff, so it feels like it's ours together. That's going to be problematic down the road. This morning, his dad calls to make sure he's up and says he's about to be here at our house to visit. For context, his dad lives 2 hours away. Yeah, no, you do not ever drop in on somebody by surprise. No. Maybe it's someone who just doesn't like surprises. I don't know. Maybe some people's families are cool with that. But you're not showing up at my house by surprise because surprise, you're not coming inside. This isn't the first time he's just shown up unannounced to our house. And I don't like it. I don't have a problem with him coming to visit. I just want to know he's coming so we'll be prepared. Yeah, like a normal person. So I can clean up a little bit, etc. I told my boyfriend how I feel every time it happens. And I've asked him to talk to his dad about giving us a heads up that he's coming over. But I don't think he ever does it. My parents never show up unannounced like that, and they only live 5 to 10 minutes away. And technically it's my house, even though I don't like holding that over his head. Yeah, again, that's going to be a problem. Anyway, his dad gets here and wants to go out to eat, and I don't want to go because I didn't have any plans of going anywhere and doing stuff today. Plus, I didn't have any time to get ready. Now my boyfriend is mad at me for not going and says I never want to spend time with his family, and he thinks I'm avoiding his dad and is overall just being really pissy. Am I the asshole for being upset that his dad just showed up, or am I being overdramatic? No. Again, nobody should be showing up especially at your house. My house is my safe zone. You don't show up at my house unannounced, okay? Top comment, not the asshole. It's very rude to show up unannounced like that and to demand people structure their day around you. Yes. Though I don't really see what you owning the house versus not owning the house has to do with that. I think it's because she's trying to say it's my house. And I actually don't like that because while you may be the person who on paper owns the house, someone else is living there and paying for it too. It's as far as the home, it's just as much his home and his living space as yours. However, that's not really here or there. I don't care who owns the house. I care who's living there and who's being inconvenienced by somebody showing up uninvited. So, no, not the asshole in my opinion. Okay, and I think we've hit a little bit over an hour, so I'm going to take off. I had so much fun on this first live. I hope to do it again, maybe next Sunday, maybe a different day. I don't know. Sundays are usually pretty busy at work for me, but today just happened to be really dead, so I had time to do it. But maybe Sunday, maybe Friday. I don't know. Maybe another day. I'll probably try to do another live at least at some point. Thank you for anyone who showed up or for anyone who comes in to watch this later. I really appreciate you chilling the heck out with me, and I will see you next time.